As long as you've got the wrong attitudes, mental training exercises won't help your performance.
But I believe the great is still yet to come. I won't stop fighting, man, until I'm done.
Okay, folks, hello. Welcome to the 36th Breakfast Ball. Just a couple quick things before I get started. Remember, when you become rich and famous, we get
10%.
because we have to retire. That's the deal. Okay?
I'm getting old, guys. I got to retire soon.
And again, we always say we don't specify. If you're feeling lucky, feeling really enthused or pumped and charged after watching one of these podcasts, and you're feeling the flow of positive energy, and you win the lottery, that counts too. Okay. Anyway, a shout out to Jeremy Tires. He was one of the first 10 to put in "I love the breakfast ball" in the comment section of our podcast, and he got mailed a Starbucks gift card. So by all means, keep watching, keep commenting. I love the breakfast ball, and lo and behold, you'll be a gift card richer. Oh yeah, folks, if you like what we're doing, we're now pushing 150,000 views, and we're well over 300 subscribers. Um, a lot of what we do is to spread the word, about performance psychology and golf. There's a lot of different podcasts out there that talk about golf, specifically in golf swing, which is great. I mean, we have a YouTube channel. We do a little bit of that on too, but performance psychology in life and in golf and in sports, highly undersold. So if you get something out of this, by all means, let us know. And I should mention also, this morning we're at the lovely Big Swing Golf Center. It is a 28-acre facility, has covered bays, has in-range, which is very similar to Topgolf technology. Probably one of the only ranges around, actually the largest range around here. Doesn't even have netting on it because it's so many vast acres that you can come out and practice, all your swings here at the center. So, and for the kids and families, they have miniature golf, right? So, and they do parties and all that kind of good stuff too.
Yeah.
So, by all means, come out. Washington Township, New Jersey, Big Swing Golf Center. All right. Well, so today we're going to start with our first quote. And today's episode, just so you know, is making thinking well a habit. So, first quote: as long as you've got the wrong attitudes, mental training exercises won't help your performance. Amen. Right. So Richie used to sit in all my practices at Rutgers, and I did a chapter of Bob Rotella a week. Right. Bob Rotella, the golf is not a game of perfect. One of the most premier golf performance psychology guys out there, and I actually it came to my attention, like, oh, there goes one of our scripts blowing away. It came to my attention that, like, the guys who received the information in a positive manner, the guys who took what Rotella was saying and took it to heart and put it to practice, used his methods for staying in the present, for example, all seemed to get better. And the guys that all were like, well, coach, this doesn't really work for me. I'm a realist. I don't particularly prescribe to this way of thought. Well, it didn't work for them because they shut their mind to the process. And like Sir Richard Branson said, man, if you go to a meeting with your mind already made up, might as well not even go to the meeting, right? So you were in those practices, so you tell me.
Yeah, I mean, we had kids on our team that were obviously a lot better at thinking a little bit more positively, and a couple kids that maybe were not. And quite frankly, you saw it by who started and who did not.
Yeah.
Some of the better players for Rutgers and some of the better golfers just in general, are better thinkers. They typically think ahead opposed to in the past. They typically think positive instead of thinking negative. It's something you see, not only in golf, but in other sports and business and in everything.
Life, yeah. So the unchecked negative thoughts undermine our confidence, our enthusiasm, and this is the big one, right? Our willingness to invest and persist. So typically, people that are negative in their thought process, they'll quit sooner. Like, they'll give up earlier. It's like we talk about the podcasts that we do, right? The podcasts that we do, the average podcast only lasts 7 episodes before they give up. And we look at it week in and week out. And in the past few weeks, we've done really, really well with it. We've gotten, 20, 30 subscribers, I don't know, the past like 15, 20 days, which is a good growth rate for us. Okay. everybody expects to go viral overnight and make millions, and that's typically not the way it works. People usually say, well, the weeks we get 1 or 2 or 3 people to subscribe, we're like, well, not quite as glowing and as happy. But if you are positive, if you keep your mind in the framework of, look, we're growing every week, and we're doing this, we are doing this. And Eric Thomas, number one public speaker on the planet, said he did free content every day for at least a year before he started to catch on. And that's the model that we're using right now.
Yeah.
Our shorts come out each and every day, and we try to give a new strategy or something that'll help you improve your golf game and your professional business, personal life, whatever, by using your mind to achieve positivity or productivity, I should say. So okay, don't kid yourself. Okay, don't kid yourself believing that negativity is harmless. What goes on in your mind is reflected in your body. So again, you can give examples of students. We were talking earlier about our young friend Liam, who we love dearly.
Yeah, it's and quite frankly, I think it's been a plague of negativity with my junior golfers recently.
Mm-hmm.
And whether it's because they're a little bit, we'll say, perfectionist.
Mm-hmm.
They play a little bit more of a perfectionist game of golf where they expect to be perfect. And quite frankly, when you do that in golf, you actually tend to get negative because, I wish I could tell you golf is a perfect sport, but it's not. You're never going to be perfect.
As Rotella says, golf is not a game
exactly.
of perfect. Yes.
So, with that comes the negativity that follows. And quite frankly, whenever you're negative, it's, it hinders your golf game. It makes you, it not makes you struggle, but it, tends to lead you towards a little bit of struggle. And you want me to tell the story of Liam now?
Yeah. But before you tell it, I'm just going to piggyback. I definitely hear the story right now, but the Ben Hogan in his book, and I think it's in the intro, he said he felt like he only hit 1 or 2 perfect shots around.
Yeah.
And like that guy's regarded as the greatest ball striker that ever lived. Now, mind you, his less than perfect shots are way better than the average guy's less than perfect shots. But mind you, you're never going to hit every shot perfect. So yeah, negativism, and the placement of your thoughts. Well, good. Tell the Liam story.
So Liam, and obviously we love Liam to death. Liam's, a great kid, aspiring high school golfer, definitely, making some progress on his golf game for sure. But Liam just started playing in golf tournaments, and his prior golf tournament, he played well. He played better than his last one, and quite frankly, he played at an easier golf course his last tournament than he did this one. So, or he played worse at the last tournament than he did this one. Sorry, he played worse at the first tournament. He played better at the second one, but the second one was a harder golf course, much harder golf course. Yep. Going from Pittman to Running Deer, astronomical difference. Yes. So the fact that
municipal golf course to a U.S. Open qualifying golf course. Yes.
So first things first is when he did that, we took the positive side of that and said second tournament, not only did you play better, but it was a tougher golf course. So that was always a good positive. We love bringing positive out of everything. But he told me specifically, I struggled with my driver. Okay, let's take that for example here. Let's take a look at that. Okay, he tells me that he hits his driver better on the back 9 than he did on the front 9. Okay, what'd you shoot on the back and front 9? Well, he played better on the front 9. He played 3 strokes better on the front 9 than he did the back 9. So let me get this straight, Bob.
Yes, sir.
He hit his driver better on the back and worse on the front, but he played better on the front than he did on the back.
Right. So that's
what does that tell us?
Yeah. Well, it's you know what, folks. Seriously, of doing this forever, like 60% of all shots are inside 100 yards. 75% of all shots are inside 150 yards. It's sometimes I call it a guy thing, or definitely a junior golfer thing. We'll use Liam as an example because we love Liam. Me, Liam, ball go far. It's nice to hit the long ball. It is, but like unless you can, you hit your shorter shots and score, it ain't gonna matter. Yeah.
So, moral of the story is he was thinking too much about things that didn't matter, opposed to the parts of the golf game that did matter, that were going to get him the lower scores, that were going to get him, closer to a victory in golf. And, when you do that, you actually start to think negatively, but not even just negatively, but negatively towards things that don't even matter. You're putting your focus on things that don't matter, and it's ruining your confidence. It's ruining, your progress forward.
Yep.
You know, you're ruining yourself by thinking of things that don't matter, opposed to thinking of the things that do matter and getting frustrated over them as well.
Yeah. Well,
And
drivers aren't irrelevant, but
they're not irrelevant.
but like for most junior golf, like high school and junior, they're playing the white tees, man.
Yeah.
Like if you can put a drive out there 240, 250, thus maybe hitting a 3-wood, like it's a better way. I mean, we always talk. There's no pictures on a scorecard. It's not how, it's how many. Because I do that whole long thing with the kids. I always do it. Like the college kids, I take a scorecard out and I'm like, what's this? And I'm like, well, that's the whole number. Like, well, what's this? This is the men's yardage, the women's yardage. What's this? It's the handicap. What's this? It's the whole number. And then what are these blank spaces down here for? And well, it's for the score. I'm like, where's the how? And they usually laugh because there is no how, right? So we want everyone to hit the driver. We want everyone to go meet ball, go far. We want everyone to be Richie
I
Stoltz.
always say that in lessons, by the way.
Yeah.
I want you to hit straight bombs down the fairway every time you hit a driver. Like, that's my goal.
Right.
But if we're trying to lower scores, let's focus on the things that are going to get us to lower scores, not focus on things that aren't going to get us to lower scores.
Yes.
You know, the driver, unfortunately, is not your scoring club. So if you're letting that get to you, while trying to shoot lower scores, it's not, we are regressing mentally.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. So Dr. James Lohr, give a 3-step process for stopping negative thoughts. Step 1. Okay. The first thing you do is monitor the way you're thinking. Okay. Become aware of your inner voice. And so start blowing the whistle when you see negative thoughts coming into your head. So that's the first step is, monitoring, right, your own thought process. And I found in my own life, like I used to put music on in the background, and until very recently, or I would keep the TV on at night. Now when I get up at 5, 6 o'clock in the morning and I work on podcasts and I work on game plans, and I work on lesson strategies, I typically do it in silence because I'm much more apt to find my mind wandering, right, when it's silent. Okay, so step 1. Okay.
Can I just add something to that
Please.
too? Always remember, if there's a way for a bad thought to come in, there's a way for the bad thought to get back out.
Well, I love that. I do. Now, step 2, he says, as soon as you hear that negative inner voice, shout stop. Right? And now we're not actually shouting in an airport or in a movie theater or anywhere we're going to be, but it's an internal shout stop. And when you shout the word stop, right, you'll be surprised. It actually triggers a response, an internal response in your head to stop like that particular negative thought. You can actually control that by stopping and monitoring that, which is it's really interesting. Try it sometime. Just stop a negative thought process and say, or when you're having a negative thought process, just say stop. Okay. Step 3. Replace that with a positive or constructive thought. Now, do not go like this is what we talked about. Like if there's an alligator behind Richie, right? Don't think about it. Like that's not what you do. Because you'll never stop or stop thinking negative. Stop thinking negative. Yeah, you can't do that.
Yeah, that's your don't think of a pink elephant.
Correct.
And when you say don't think of a pink elephant, what do you think of?
I think of a pink elephant.
Yeah.
Yes, there we go.
Yeah.
So now, right, when I say constructive thought process, like for example, the debauchery of this morning of trying to film this podcast became very, very, very difficult, which is our third take on it. What can I think to myself? I think to myself personally, like there's a rooster in the background. What I think to myself is, during something like this, is we had the nerve to get this done. Like most podcasts fail after 7 episodes. We're 30-something episodes, 150,000 views, over 300 subscribers. Like we've accomplished this with very little technical skill, obviously, because the way our day's been going. But very little technical skill. We've done this. So rather than thinking to oh my gosh, what else could go wrong? Screw it, let's not do this today. Because honestly, Richie, that happened to us this morning, right? We're like, screw it, we'll do it a different day. No, we're going to get this done because that's what we do. And as my friend Greg Heitner, if you're watching, Greg, from his famous quote, he got a consulting gig with a major TV network, and he brought in a resume with his name, phone number, and all that kind of stuff. And all that was written on the paper was, "I get shit done." Like I love that attitude, right? That's an attitude that is positive. So stay with constructive thoughts or positive thoughts.
Yeah, and just remember that's not, stay positive does not mean don't think negative.
Right.
That there's a big difference because If you think don't think negative, you're just don't think negative, don't think negative, don't think negative.
Yeah.
You still have negative
Yep.
that you're thinking. It's only think positive. A great example of this, by the way, I played in a golf tournament down in Florida. I actually love bringing this story up. I played in a golf tournament, mini tour event down in Florida. I was 2 under through the first 3 holes, playing pretty darn well.
Yep.
And I had an easy 500-yard par 5 coming up. Looks to me like another birdie.
I remember
You
this.
know?
Yep.
And there was water on the tee shot, water on the left, nothing on the right. What was my thought process on that shot?
Don't go left.
My thought process was, no matter what, do not go left. Do not go in the water.
Yep.
Is that a positive thought?
No.
That is that is a negative thought.
Yes.
That's
That's-
completely
there's
negative.
no
That is do
alligator
not
behind
go
you.
left.
Yes.
And the only thing I'm thinking of at that point is what's left.
Yep.
You know, what I should have thought is maybe just go right. Or just stare down the fairway and hit it in the fairway. It wasn't a hard tee shot, by the way.
Yep.
It was actually quite wide open. I had all the room in the world to go right.
Yep.
But because I thought don't go left, where'd I hit it?
Unfortunately, left. Yeah, it happens.
Splash.
It happens. So I love that because it's just so you're human. It happens to everybody.
Yeah.
So quote number 2 of the day. Okay. A lot of people say, I had fun because I played well. Okay. That's really putting the cart before the horse. Typically, right, you have to be in what Laura calls the ideal performance state. To play well, right, you need to be engaged, relaxed, enthusiastic. Like there's a whole bunch of like the things that go into it. And when you have that state, you're much more apt to play well. Like people say, "Oh, I played well, so that this made me happy." Unequivocally, it shows that if you have the proper mental state going in, you're much more likely to play well. So, cause and effect and cause, whatever you want to say, it is, if you can start to teach yourself to think as a habit, think, well better or better well, or you know what I'm saying. Okay. It'll help you be a better player. Anything else that you want to throw in there?
No, again, the positive thinking, just knowing how to think positive opposed to not thinking negative is honestly, that's a big one. That I believe is a very strong message right
Yes,
there.
huge.
Is understanding the difference between thinking positive and not thinking negative.
I love it. All right. So folks, if you like what we're doing, please subscribe. Again,
Especially after today.
yeah, we had a hard day today, folks. We did.
We always talk about facing adversity, Bob. But
I know.
every once in a while we have, but it's been like today has been us facing adversity. And you know what? I think that just proves we practice what we preach.
Yeah. Take 2.5 hours to film 2 20-minute segments is tough. But anyway, people have real problems out there. Okay.
That is true.
Yeah. So also our new online store, guys, it's now open. It's the same online store, but it's now open 365. There's no downtime because I've had a lot of people, at least a half dozen in the past couple of months say, I went to order something and your store was closed. It is no longer closed. It's open every single day. So if you go on to the South Jersey Golf School's website, you can click on the Breakfast Ball link or the South Jersey Golf School link and order our merch. We'd much appreciate that also. Well, with that said, I am your host, Bob Cardia, and to my left, to your far right,
The dashing Richie Stoltz.
remember, when you're rich and famous,
We get
10%. Take care.
Glass of bourbon hard. My bourbon hard. My bourbon hard.